Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome into this episode. Today we are in Radnor Lake State Park. And Radnor Lake is like this weird little pocket of oasis near one of the fastest growing cities in North America, and that's Nashville, Tennessee. And it's just this like solitude, respite location nestled into skyscrapers and traffic. And I just found so many afternoons coming here of just peacefulness. And this morning I'm trying to tackle one of my arch nemesises in landscape photography, and that is woodland photography. Now there's a little hill nearby that I have to find again because I've forgotten where it is, but it has some neat wildflowers growing, hoping they're still growing this morning, and then has some nice woodland trees, and it's facing east, so I'm hoping to get some sun rays coming in too. We'll see what we can find. Another reason why this park is so special to me is this is actually where I proposed to my wife. I had totally forgotten about that until I actually got out here and saw the place where I did propose. So a nice little trip down memory lane this morning. And by the way, don't tell my wife that I forgot I proposed here. If you don't tell her, she won't know. She doesn't watch my videos anyways. But I digress. I think though, when you are doing a shoot like this, coming to a place that you know, and especially when you have a shot in mind, it's really important that you approach it with an open hand. I might not get that shot here this morning. I might get something completely different. And I think going into a place with that in mind is really important, because getting tied to a shot creates disappointment, it creates expectation, and it creates anxiety, really. So when you do have a shot in mind in a local place that you know really well, take approach of having an open-handed mindset to it and not getting tied to a specific photograph. I've been enamored with all the majestic B-roll that I've been getting this morning that I have made a critical mistake, one that I always teach against, and that is getting behind the light. So right now, I'm really just trying to hurry and not get behind the morning light and get that nice glow shining in on any of the trees or anything like that. But I'm always just trying to stay alert to what the light's doing, and that's really hard when you're trying to get to a specific spot, like I said earlier, and having that shot in mind, because you're not really scanning what's going on around you like I'm trying to do and trying to keep in mind. But that's what you should always be doing, is watching what's going on around you and not being just so in a rush to get to a place where you miss something amazing that could be happening right next to you or below you. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and set up, because I did pass earlier the point that I was originally thinking about, and there were no wildflowers there. So I've been looking for wildflowers. That's all I really wanted to get today. And we're so late in the year and spring right now, I think they're all just kind of gone, and it's been so cold at night. Like, it was 37 degrees Fahrenheit last night, so I just think they're pretty much all gone. So what I wanted to do was, we're running low on light. The sun's starting to come up over that ridge. So I have this shot set up behind me, and there's this tree back here in the background that's kind of just surrounded by some wildflowers, some yellow, just bright yellow against that nice lush green of like early summer, late spring. So that's kind of what I have set up back here. So I kind of want to take you through the shot before this light starts getting up and getting really good, so I can be in position to photograph this exactly how I want it, because I did drive 2 hours to get here and I don't want to go home without anything. So here's what I have set up in front of me. I'm at like 1 second exposure, f8 ISO 100, and I really think that f8 is going to come in nicely because it's really going to give me enough range of focus to get everything within acceptable focus. I'm not really trying to do anything crazy like a focus stack here. I just want this shot set up so that I can get just a really nice, even woodland shot. And I really like how the wildflowers are set up against that nice lush green back there, because it just gives that offset of color. And I also like repetition of vertical lines going up, but cropping this and hopefully something like a 1x1 or close to it. I think I'm going to be able to get the shot that I want here. The light's just coming up to my left and starting to shine in on this valley. So I'm hoping that some of this lights up a little bit and we do get some nice like highlights in these tones, because over here there is starting to become some of that glow on the forest floor. It just determines where that sun bounces and where it dances into the scene. So here's the photograph that I took, and I have to be honest with you, I hate it. It's a little flat, the color is good, but the light just didn't work for this. There's not much contrast. To my left, I actually saw this image and I took it in the same cropped ratio. The tree trunk is very nicely contrast with nice light, and the leaves are illuminated perfectly. I like this photograph a lot more than the other one. So I'm a bit frantic right now. I'm trying to find, here's this crazy composition that you see behind me. We just have gnarly logs going back through, and then we have this one tree that's just limbs. It's like a dead tree, but it has so much interest to it, and the light's bouncing around right now. I'm trying to find some way to frame this up like I want it to. And I've tried the wide shot, it didn't really work. I'm trying telephoto right now, but the light is changing so fast. I'm trying to figure out what the best light is gonna be. I think this composition is gonna work. I wanna show you, put you down there. So I just wanna show you what I'm working with here, because in my composition, if I put you on my screen, level this up, of course the battery is dying, everything is just going to absolute chaos right now. We have a really nice backlight coming in, just lighting up that forest floor. Get my focus right. Here's what I have in this shot. It's just a really nice shot. I'm at 1/4 of a second, f8, ISO 100. And as that light continues to come in with the back and side light, we get nice reflections of sunlight and just warm light on that forest floor. I'm gonna hurry up and shoot this, and then we can talk about it. So this morning obviously is like the definition of Murphy's Law. This is just chaotic, but I do have a really cool composition behind me, and it's hard. I really struggle with compositions like this. Let me try to get this in the screen. So over my shoulder, you see we have these two like dead limbs coming in, And then we have that tree that's just sticking up right here, right? It's in the middle of the valley, no standing trees really around it or close to it. And then we have this lush green forest floor that's kind of just lighting up with golden light. And what I've done here is put that tree right in the middle of my composition because I want that to be the main focal point. And I know you're not supposed to put your subject in the middle of the frame according to the rules of photography, but there really aren't any rules. If you see something and you want to compose it right, just do it that way. But as the light is coming in on this side, if we turn over here, it's just coming in through this back side, kind of like back corner lighting, I guess you should say, but it's just lighting up kind of the limbs and the dead trees that are going on in the foreground and just leading you back to that subject and hitting it right. And we're just getting soft golden light highlighting that really nicely. This is literally the most excited I've ever been about a woodland photography shot. And of course I've broken my brand new time-lapse rotating head tool that I just got in, and then who knows if my camera is still functioning, but I'm just so pumped about this shot that I really don't even care right now. I'll probably get a flat tire on the way home, who knows, but I'm just gonna kind of just sit here and watch this light and watch it change. And when it gets just right, or we get that nice highlighted part in the frame, that's when I'm gonna take the shot. Okay, so I did change up my composition here. I was shooting on that side and getting it just straight in, but as the light changed in the valley, I adapted my composition to what I was seeing. So let me take you guys in here. So this is what I'm seeing in front of me as that light pours into this valley. And as you can see, with that log that was kind of in the foreground is now way more pronounced, and we have that looping tree in the background, and then the tree that was in the center is over off to the side. So while I frame this up, this is what it looks like on my camera. So as that light again pours into the valley here, it's just gonna backlight all of those limbs that are there. It's probably gonna happen pretty soon too as that light continues to pour in here. Just the way it's been kind of dancing around in the frame, I'm predicting it's gonna be pretty soon. Okay, let's see what we have here. This looks like it'll be fine. Didn't fall too bad, just some mud on it. This is what I used for all those darker shots, nighttime, early morning B-roll shots. That looks like it's gonna be fine. This, on the other hand, is what I just got in. And if you'll see, that completely comes off now. Probably not how they intended it to be used, but. So several different shots from this morning, which is great. Look, I have a love-hate relationship with woodland photography. This scene this morning takes me back to when I first tried woodland photography when I was in England. You can watch that video on the card showing up on your screen right now. But this like just chaos of woodland is confusing. It frustrates me. It ticks me off so much. But then when I do get that right composition and right light, it does come together, and I do enjoy the process of the peacefulness, the being outdoors, walking around and trying to find something that works. The challenge, I love the process of the challenge, but several times, more often than not, I just go home so frustrated and swear off woodland photography forever. And then I just find myself out there in a couple weeks trying it again. So this morning was one of the positives. It's one of my favorite things to do when I do find that composition, just sit and watch the light. And that's really one of the takeaways from today is, you know, approach something like a film photographer. Approach a scene in a way where you're just not firing off exposures and clicking the shutter nonstop. Really stop and take time to watch what the light is doing around you, what the sun is doing with the angle in the sky, how that's affecting your subjects, and just wait for that right moment, because you'll find that you start noticing a lot more details around you that you can include into the scene. You can have a much more enjoyable experience, like listening to birds all around you, seeing different kinds of animals that are all around you, and just a better experience outdoors anyways. So really approach a scene more like a film photographer, waiting for that right moment and not wasting an exposure, a cost on a different shot. So really fine tune your infield process, and then don't be tied to a specific shots too. If I had stayed over that way in the first shot that we got, I never would have found this one that's behind me right here. So never stay tied to a specific shot, but you know, take a photo. If something interests you, if you see something that looks cool, take that shot, but don't get tied to it, and explore other areas too. This shot is just about done behind me, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Super over the moon about it. If I don't sound like it, it's because I woke up at 3:30 to get out here and shoot this, and I'm running low on coffee. I'm definitely gonna drink like 2 pots today just to get filled up with caffeine. But as I just pack up and finish off this video, if you liked it, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell for future videos. Can't wait to see you guys next time I go out into the field or show you some tips in my office.